Rodney's Storage Find. We have all of the things. Gorilla Edibles. And hey, we have packages that will help you fully monetize your brand and events. Let's build you a channel that'll have you looking like a pro while streaming to Apple TV, Roku, Amazon, Fire TV, Samsung TV, and more. Visit us at www.netstarslive.online for more info. Netstars Live, making your streams come true.
Somebody already got kicked. Dope. Somebody already got kicked. Dope.
Say the wrong thing and get the bags. With the force of everything that I have. Say the wrong thing and get the bags. Oh, now you niggas salty and you mad. Niggas say the wrong thing. Cuckoo. And get thrown out the conversation. Throw up two fingers and tell them, please don't keep the drama away. Bye. Donate to the cause and hit the cash app. And if you ain't got it, them likes are free. Go and smash that. BBN. Hit that with a hashtag. Sick with the content. Come around and need a hazmat. Jack Frost. Yeah, you dudes need to back off. You got the work around here. Yeah, we all tip our hats off. Keep the same name. That's what you point for. But if you coming back in, put a 2.0. Big bags. And you asking what they heavy for. Foot and ass be going hella crazy with the petty wars. Good conversation, that's what we be really ready for. Good conversation like being on the bottom of a heavy whore. Nah. Why niggas be like that? Unsubscribe and tell them, yo, hey, I'll be right back. Say the wrong thing and get the bags. With the force of everything that I have. Say the wrong thing and get the bags. Oh, now you niggas salty and you mad. Niggas say the wrong thing and get the bags. With the force of everything that I have. Say the wrong thing and get the bags. Oh, now you niggas salty and you mad. Niggas say the wrong thing.
Yeah, bags. We just kicked that guy straight out the door. We don't got time for that. We hold those over here. Who the fuck is that dude? Hold on. Can we get bags in the chat? Y'all don't see it, but somebody got hit with bags. Can we get all the bags?
BBN, Jack Frost,
What's up, party people? How's everybody doing today? I hope everybody's had a beautiful day. Hey, yo, check this out. All right, so before we even start anything, I want to say this. I just want to be clear on this. So, am I the only one? I'm sorry, I apologize. Am I the only one that think that there's something fishy with Joe Budden having Chris Hansen as a guest on the Joe Budden podcast? Before we go anywhere, I want to ask that question. Am I the only one that think that there's something, with the fact that Joe Budden had Chris Hansen on his podcast the other day? I want to know what you guys think about that. And why we allow for that question to just seep into our inner guts. We will go over our regular festivities or whatever that is. Go over our regular festivities. I took down the morning show for a reason. I didn't respond to the person I was asking because it isn't there, and I want to continue with the show. I don't want to stop every single time somebody has a question. But it's not there because I took it down for a reason. I have a reason, a specific reason. What's today, the 14th? Shout out to Black Power Cross. Shout out to Black Power Cross again. Had to take it down for a reason. I'm not trying to be surly with anybody. Shout out to William Summersville. Definitely appreciate you. What was that? Definitely appreciate you. Appreciate all of y'all. I appreciate when you like, comment, subscribe. I always appreciate when y'all pull up. Y'all already know what it is. I appreciate when you leave the comments, anything. Apologies. So I have that question, just real quick. Before we go any further, I just want to ask the question. Did anybody think that it was particularly odd that Joe Budden had Chris Hansen come on his show while Joe Budden is currently in this, while it seems us out here in the public watching what's going on, we think that it seems like Charlamagne and Joe Budden might be going at each other. Do y'all think that this means something that Chris Hansen was just on? Just so we could be clear why I'm saying this, for everybody that don't know who Chris Hansen is. Chris Hansen is the dude that shows up, that the pedophiles show up to. That's who Chris Hansen is. Chris Hansen is the guy that these dudes be trying to meet these 13-year-old girls on the internet. And then they show up to the house and Chris Hansen is there to meet them. That's who Chris Hansen is. For everybody that might not know. That's who Chris Hansen is. I thought that was interesting. I thought that was extremely interesting. Do y'all remember about a year and a half ago? I don't know if it was a year and a half ago. I don't know if it was a year ago. It was about a year ago, a year and a half ago. They was talking about the Breakfast Club was ending or some shit. And they was talking about Charlamagne was going to go do a show. I don't know what the hell they was talking about. But basically they were saying that Charlamagne was leaving the Breakfast Club. The Breakfast Club was shutting down. Does anybody else remember that? Charlamagne leaving the show. The Breakfast Show was shutting down. It like a year ago. I don't even remember when it was. It was like a year ago or some shit like that. Matter of fact, it was a little bit more than a year ago. What happened? Nobody else remember what happened? Nobody else remember what happened? Nobody else remember what happened?
that's when he had to deal. Okay, so that's when he had to deal with HBO. Okay, I'm gonna go slower. I'm gonna go way slower. My fault. I'm going too quick. My apologies. I'm gonna slow it down. About like 3 years ago, like not 3 years ago, but like a year, like 2 years ago maybe, Charlamagne had to deal with HBO. Charlamagne had to deal with HBO. I don't know if anybody else remembers this, but Charlamagne had to deal with HBO. Wait, what? I don't know what that's supposed to say. Do y'all remember Charlamagne had to deal with HBO? The HBO deal allegedly fell through. Do y'all remember when what's this guy's name? The guy that was married to he just recently said that he's the one that nixed the deal. But the deal, the HBO deal, the Charlamagne HBO deal, the dude that was married to what's homegirl that be on the what's homegirl name that be Wendy Williams? The dude that's married to, that was married to Wendy Williams, he not married to Wendy Williams no more. He recently said that he's the one that nixed the Charlamagne deal with HBO. But do y'all remember when Charlamagne was supposed to be leaving the Breakfast Club or some shit like that? He was supposed to be getting a show at HBO. Then that's when the whole story about the young girl first came out. The whole story about Jessica Reed. Y'all remember? That's when that shit first surfaced. The story about Jessica Reed first surfaced around the time that Charlamagne was trying to get the deal with HBO. Anyway, that deal goes kaput. Boom. That's out of the window. Boom. That's out of the window. It's done. It's gone. Now, allegedly, I don't know this to be true. I don't know any of it. I don't know this to be true, but part of what they was trying to say as far as with the rumors that's out there that people are trying to say is Charlamagne and Joe Budden is currently going at it. It's one of the reasons why Joe Budden was having some of the problems that he is currently having, allegedly. I do not know this to be a 100% fact. But what I do know is this. Chris Hansen coming on Charlamagne's show so Charlamagne could talk about, Joe Budden's show so Joe Budden could talk about predators. Watch that show. I watched that show today. There's a couple of things that I want to say that I thought that was extremely interesting. Hold on. I'm going to tell you about the show just in case y'all don't know about the show. He has Chris Hansen come on, Joe Budden. Shout out to Joe Budden. Joe Budden has Chris Hansen come on. Chris Hansen points out a couple of things. First of all, Chris Hansen said that there's a point when they be busting these guys that some of these guys know that they're getting busted and literally help with the getting them busted. Like some of them know that they got a problem. You understand what I'm saying? Like some of them know they got a problem. Some of them know that there's something wrong with them. Just like there's the ones that's trying to run and get away because they don't want to be held accountable. But some of them know they got a problem. He said, yo, when they first started doing this shit, and they started having the cameras come in, and you would see on the counter, they would have things that was already there, like condoms or whatnot or whatever. They said that the condom people, and like not the condom people, but the soft drink people specifically said, there was people calling them up because that's not the type of product placement that they wanted. So then what they did was they switched that around and they started using that as a way for what the predators was bringing in order for them to be able to get a psychological evaluation on them. Right? So hold on. So this is what I think what was going on. I don't know if this this is what I think the intent was. What I'm trying to say, I think they was trying to psychologically break down Charlamagne. That's what I think that was. I think that I don't think it played out 100% the way that it probably was intended, if that's what it was intended to do. But I think that was a way for them to be able to talk about Charlamagne's situation without talking about it in the manner so Charlamagne could come with lawyers. You understand what I'm saying? Because everybody knows that the thing happened. This isn't like we don't know that the thing happened. If Joe Budden go on his show and start talking about the Charlamagne's situation directly, specifically, Charlamagne is getting lawyers on niggas. So I think that he wanted to talk about, or he wanted to keep that conversation relevant and going on, So, because as long as he keeps that conversation going, then they can have a conversation about the types of people who prey on children. You understand what I'm saying? I think a lot of this was like, it was extremely subliminal. It was really, I think it was something that hit us without us knowing that it's hitting us. I just thought that was extremely interesting as soon as I heard that he was going to have Chris Hansen on there. So Chris Hansen is like giving them a breakdown of like, about like the different type of predators that they were. If you're gonna go watch the show, I forget if it's about 20 something minutes in, Chris Hansen starts giving a breakdown of the different type of predators that they are. Like the predators that just go out there and they ready to snatch anything, whatever it is. The predators that like prey on children and like, and then it's like the predators that they're not going out there and overtly committing the crimes, but they voyeurs or whatever the case is. And he was like just breaking it down. So like that's what I'm trying to say. I think that they was trying to like do something like it was an indictment on Charlamagne. That's what I'm trying to say. And I just thought that was interesting. You got to go watch it. You got to go check it out. I don't think this is something, what up, Emmanuel? I don't think this is something that Charlamagne could actually reply back to. I don't see a way that he could I think this was genius, because there's no way that Charlamagne could actually reply back to this without acknowledging. Like, I think this was genius. I think that Joe Budden is next level creator of content when it's like this type of, when the way they're battling, the way they're going at each other. I think that he's next level. I think that there's no way that Charlamagne could reply back to this. And I think that if we really look at this was an obvious attack on Charlamagne. I think that this is something that wait a little bit further down the line, if anything else comes up about Charlamagne, people could then reference the Joe Budden show and then talk about how Chris Hansen came on there and the things that he said about predators and how it reflects back to some of the things that people might in the future or have already said about Charlamagne. Do you understand this? That keeps Joe Budden in that conversation. This is just my opinion. I could be wrong. This is all opinion, by the way. This is not that he was on the show is a fact. The things he said on the show is a fact. But what we're discussing right now is just opinion based. What up, Dog Soldier? Dog Soldier says, "Love is power, peace, love, and prosperity to the BBN, Jack Frost." I'm gonna tell you the wild thing though. Also, this is something that I think people aren't really. Well, I don't know if people are grasping. I don't know if people is paying attention to it or care or not. But see, this is the problem. When we have, because if y'all remember, Joe Budden and Charlamagne actually did a show together. Like they had like some little thing that they was doing where they was like, I don't know if they was interviewing each other or whatever the case was, but they was working together. And that's when the split happened. For everybody that don't remember, that's when Joe Budden came out. He was talking about ownership and having equity, and that's when Charlamagne came out and he was basically saying, nah, it's better to basically work for the man. What in reality, however you're gonna do it is how you're gonna do it. I'm not here to question if your way is better than that person's way. Do it whichever is the way that makes you feel comfortable or the way that you feel with it. So this isn't me siding with one side or the other. But what I will say is this. I consider Joe Budden and Charlamagne to be two different types of content creator. I don't think they're the same type of content creator. I just think that they're different. Like I think that they right now are living in the same orbit. They're orbiting the same sun. That they're eating from the same plate right now, like the same area. But I don't think that their content creating skills or what they create as content is necessarily similar. I think it's a little bit different. I think what they do is a little bit different. It would have been real crazy for those two to work together. Like if they could have just worked together and really like built something, I think it would have been insane. I think it would have been dope. On Nestar side, so would that be some ultimate troll war tactics? I think what Joe Budden did is extremely. With the move that Joe Budden just did is gonna work out in his favor for years to come. Emmanuel says, I think Charlamagne kind of deserves it. When Tekashi went on the scene, he was bashing him, but he himself is going through similar. I don't know, similar what? Similar situations, similar accusations made about them. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna tell you something, and right, this is just me. Like just me saying whatever, right? So, what we have to remember is this. Okay, so y'all know what's going on with Chrissy Teigen right now, right? For everybody that don't know, right now Chrissy Teigen is getting in trouble for some tweets that she made before bullying people. You want to know why? Because bullying is out the door now. Bullying is going the way of the dodo. That's what's happening right now. So for all of you individuals that be out there just making up lies and saying weirdo shit about people, it's about to become to the end of that. And then what's going to happen at the end of that is what happens all the time at the end of shit like that. That's when the chickens come home to roost. So I say all that to say this. Charlamagne has said a lot of things previously in the course of his journalistic career. And I think that some people he might have upset and angered. Shout out to Oldman Brown with the $8 drop. She says, just showing some love, boo. Oldman Brown pulls up into the saloon. As she walks in, the sequins on her dress is shimmering. She has on a very nice gown. The train of the gown is about 2 feet. The front of the gown, the corset part right here, is trimmed in emerald green with gold linings and threads. She walks into the saloon. The bouncer takes a jacket. He hangs the jacket atop. She walks into the bartender. The bartender hands her a glass of sarsaparilla. Says, hello, how you doing, my good lady? I'm very happy to have you here today. Oldman Brown says, where's the donkey bags? The bartender says, we waiting for the mans to deliver them now. If you go wait by the window, we'll try to get some donkey bags to you as quickly as possible. Oldman Brown says, thank you. Shout out to Oldman Brown pulling up to the saloons today. He said he's in the saloon. Nobody gave him a ride home. Alright, so hold on. So check this out. So shout out to Oldman Brown pulling up to the saloon today. So check this out. Listen. First point I was trying to make in the beginning of the video is right now there's a narrative that there's a narrative somebody just tweeted something out right now. I mean Instagram something out right now and I'm reading it. Pardon me, it just absolutely just messed with me for a second. So it was a chick, just so you shout out to her. So basically what happens is this. Joe Budden very smartly decided to already create a narrative where now I already have a show where we're talking about predators. So now if this ever heats up with the Charlamagne conversation, Joe Budden can naturally get into this conversation because he's interviewed Chris Hansen. That's one. Two, later on, if this actually becomes a bigger problem for Charlamagne as far as Jessica Reed, her family, friends, other individuals, advocates, or any activists or anybody who else gets involved in this particular matter, and they start having these conversations, once again, Joe Budden, he has an interview with Chris Hansen. I'm going to give you a best example. We talking about the Treyway Tekashi case. You got me in the room. You got a writer from 3 different biggest publications you could think about in America. We start talking about factual, start trying to talk about facts that happened in this particular case. I don't care what those guys' jobs is. I don't care what those guys get paid. I'm going to tell you right now because I know for a fact they're going to all look at me and see what the fuck I got to say first. And I know this because I'm talking about actual people that I've met in real life. Writers for The Times, writers for, New York Times, writers for Daily News, writers for The Post. Not that they
way better writers than me. If I mean, we talking about damn near any other topic, I'd have to be quiet and listen to every single word that came out of their mouth. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Writers for other publications too, but I'm gonna be quiet on that. But the point in which I'm trying to say is, what you know, you know. So when this conversation comes back out about Charlamagne revolving around this particular situation, Joe Budden just had an interview with Chris Hansen. This nigga Joe Budden lays traps. Joe Budden just laid a trap that he don't even got to spring. All he got to do is wait for time to just take his place. That's it. He just laid a trap. He don't even got to spring. He don't got to spring that trap. Somebody else could spring that trap and then reference the Chris Hansen interview. Do you get it? Anyway, so I'm not 100% sure. I think first of all, just so we can be clear, I believe both Joe Budden and Charlamagne the God might have run their course. As far as what I mean is, for the type of media that they currently do right now, that they're doing, they're A1 near the top. There is nobody that do what they do better than them right now. But the problem is, we work in hip-hop, and hip-hop is ever changing and it's ever evolving. So right now, while the media in which they do is I would guess what we consider to be the standard, right? Let's just be honest. If you go on, if you're doing the how do you say? Wait, Emmanuel says, Jack, Meg said that Tory and the Baby song wasn't gonna be released. It dropped today. How the hell could Meg Thee Stallion say when anybody's song is good? She can't even tell you when her own song is gonna be released. What the fuck? Shout out to her though. I don't know what to tell you. Shout out to her though. I mean, if y'all don't really care about this, I just think that this is interesting. I just think this is interesting for numerous different reasons. To be honest with you. Numerous different reasons. Because I think that this Charlamagne shit ain't going nowhere. I just don't think it's going nowhere. I think Charlamagne has, for reasons of entertainment, has said so many things that were classless and tacky that there are a lot of people that remember when you said this, remember when you said that. What up, Steve Lofax? You understand? I think he said a lot of things that were classless and tacky. Charlamagne. I think to be a disc jockey, to be a VJ, DJ, whatever you want to call it, a blogger, vlogger, whatever you want to call it, you have to do that to a degree, a host. You have to say things that are controversial at times, that are going to upset one side or you're going to upset the other. If you can possibly do this shit without upsetting anybody, that's because people just like you. It's not because you're not saying anything that's offensive. If you can understand what I'm saying. Like Johnny Carson. Johnny Carson, one of the main reasons in which why he was able to have the talk show in which he was because people just liked him. So even if he said something that was offensive, people was like, oh, at least I got offended by Johnny Carson. Okay, hey, you get what I'm saying? So as far as on that note, what up, Black Cuddy? Salute to the Black Spades. But I think those two guys are basically at the top of their field of what they're doing. I don't think I do specifically what they were doing, and if I was in their particular situation, the type of media I would create would be different. Even though some of it would line up and be similar, but the majority of the media in which I would be looking to create would be different. The perfect example, shout out to the fact that Joe Budden keeps creating talk shows, but basically all Joe Budden does is create talk shows. No disrespect. I like Joe Budden, and I like Joe Budden's talk shows. But Joe Budden just creates talk shows. He just goes and finds people to talk with one another while they sit on couches and discuss topics of main events, right? I'm not, just so we can be clear, there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm saying to then say that making those things is the same as somebody creating a scripted television program, I would have to say it's not the same thing. It's different. Just my position, my perspective. So as dope as that is, all Joe Budden has really created is just people sitting down talking to each other in front of a camera, right? What has Charlamagne? Charlamagne is involved with books. Charlamagne has like the book thing that they got going on, and there's a couple of other things that Charlamagne got where he works behind the scenes that he got shit going on. So salute to that. But at the end of the day, just to keep it a whole stack, what kind of content? I wouldn't be creating that content. My content would be vastly different. I don't know what to tell you. It would be vastly different. You know, first of all, the social experiment, it would be a dope thing if check this out. Tell me this isn't a good idea, especially for just as a social experiment. Maybe we petition the city or try to get the city to start the PAL program back up. We talk to some of these people. We get the PAL program started back up, right? Then why don't we do a series that is a little basketball series about the different PALs playing against each other, and that's a thing. That'll one encourage also kids to get off of the streets. And we can start it with basketball, and if basketball works out well and we get decent numbers, then we do it with baseball. If baseball works out well and that has decent numbers, then we just go from one sport to another. This is New York City. How come we don't have our own? We have a PAL. Now we have the internet. We could create our own sports league. Like, these are the type of conversations I will be wanting to have with people. Like, and then on top of that, we're also creating we're creating a situation where now we have a lot of youth that has nothing to do, and we're also creating a thing for the youth to go do. So I think that these are the things we need to be working on. But, you know, shout out to all of the books that's being written and all of the damn talk shows that people are having where they just sitting down and talking about things and telling jokes, because we need to laugh too. I know I do. I can't speak for the rest of y'all. I will say this much about the Charlamagne, the perceived Charlamagne Joe Budden's beef. I will say this much, and I want to be clear on this. It's a shame that we couldn't get those two men to just work together. I think that working together, they would be able to... I mean, I get it. When you have two people that they used to be in the bottom line for one thing or another, when they're dealing with their own projects, you don't want to give away that type of power to somebody else. So I get it. But it would have been dope to have those two guys working together. That would have been dope. I don't know what to tell you. That would have been dope. I do think he was making a jab at Charlamagne, though, by having Chris Hansen on his show. Like, Charlamagne is going to show up. Like, Chris Hansen is going to be... Like, Charlamagne is going to show up at one of those houses that Chris Hansen be at. I'm sorry. I don't care what nobody say. I think that Joe Budden was throwing subliminals at Charlamagne. I don't care what nobody say. I think it's funny too. Shout out to that shit. But I think that Joe Budden was throwing subliminals at Charlamagne. I think Joe Budden was throwing subliminals at Charlamagne. Like, for real, for real. Emmanuel says, can we talk about water for a second? It's really hot outside. People need to kick drinks and drink water. Good water. People can pass out in the heat. Also, it helps you look better. Well, that's a fact. Being hydrated helps your skin, period. To be honest with you. Help your skin, period. Just to be honest with you. And yeah, sugar actually makes you more thirsty, for everybody that don't know. So yeah, sugar makes you thirsty, for everybody that don't know. So when you're generally drinking really sweet drinks, I know it's like you feel the liquid, so you're like, that's cool and refreshing. But in reality, sugar makes you thirsty. I'm just telling you, you can deal with it whatever you want to deal with it. Nestars Live says Joe Budden be on some Jedi trolling ish. I think, just so we could be clear, I don't think there's many people better at trolling than Charlamagne and Joe Budden specifically. And one of the reasons why I think Joe Budden is such a great troll is because once again, I don't have a problem with trolling. I have a problem with people just hating. Like hating. I got a problem with haters. I don't got a problem with trolls. So one of the reasons why I think that Joe Budden is such a great troll, just so we could be clear, is he preemptively troll you. He'll troll some shit. He'll say some trolling shit that you walk into. So he'll he set traps. So he set traps. He's a thinker. Not that Charlamagne isn't. But Charlamagne is more of reflexive, reaction. You know, it's reflective, reflex. You understand what I'm saying? Where in my belief, whereas Joe Budden is calculated. Joe Budden will troll you, or he'll put some shit out there that you just walk into. And the only reason why I recognize both is because I've done both of those over here, like, for years. But yeah, that's the difference to me. I think that what Joe Budden does is more difficult because a lot of times you're taking chances. You understand what I'm saying? And then if the thing don't come to pass, you look crazy sometimes. But I think this is a whole win-win. I don't think that there's no way he could look crazy here, because even if it don't come up, it just don't come up. I don't think there's no way that Joe Budden look crazy at all here. I think he looks incredible here. What up, Shy? Everybody say what's up to Shy Murder. I think Joe Budden look incredible here. Just in general, like this is just a 100% win. It's not even a question about it. And I think that the reason why, just so we can be clear, I think the reason why Charlamagne's HBO deal actually fell through was because they wanted to keep him on the Breakfast Club. I think that they just didn't want Charlamagne to leave the Breakfast Club, because if Charlamagne leaves the Breakfast Club, that's it for the Breakfast Club. You can't replace Charlamagne. Who are you gonna replace Charlamagne with? Whoever you replace Charlamagne with, it's gonna be hard. It's just, I don't care who they are. They have to be a really unknown person. They have to be a really unknown person that's coming with a totally different type of energy, I guess. I don't know. But I don't know. Because who you going to replace Charlamagne with? How you going to keep the show going? I think that, not for nothing, I think Envy... Hold on, Emmanuel. I'll get to that right now. If not for nothing, I think Envy, Angela Yee, and Charlamagne, I think they just work really well together. I think that if you take Envy or Yee out, Angela Yee out, I think that you just change what's going on too much. That's just my opinion. I think you still just change what's going on too much. Emmanuel says, Jack, Polo G said cops was on him since they got off the plane. Do you think that sounds similar to Juice WRLD, Lil Wayne, etc.? What was actually said was, Polo G said that the cops told him that they were on him since his plane landed. So after they arrested him, when they was taking him into the station, or when he got into the station, or whenever that was, what actually happened was the police officers told Polo G, we've been on you since you got off the plane, since your plane pulled in. So
That's another thing that I was trying to talk about previously. Hold on, we could this is in my wheelhouse. This is something else that I was talking about previously for everybody that don't know. These rappers, whenever they on these private planes is getting watched like crazy. So now we know why they was on Polo G. Remember the whole entire time I said, why did they pull up the Polo G's situation in the first place? Remember I kept saying that? This don't make sense. Why did they pull up the Polo G's party? Remember I was saying that? I was saying that every single time we talk about it, I believe. Why they pull up the Polo G's party? Now you know what happened. They already had plans on snatching him up, period. It was already in the docket. They already had plans on it, period. That's already what was going on. For whatever the reason was, they was just watching him, but they already was coming to get him. So now you gotta ask why. Why was they already coming to get dude? So you trying to tell me he not even in town and they waiting for his plane to land? Why? Why would they be waiting for a plane to land? This isn't something that I have to spell out. I mean, you don't got to say nothing in the chat, but this isn't nothing I got to spell out, right? So they was just waiting for the plane to land in Florida. Who did Polo G just do a song with? Who did Polo G just do a song with? Who did Polo G just do a song with? Who nobody want to say it? So I just forget. I won't talk about it. If nobody don't want to say who he just did a song with, I'll leave it alone. If nobody want to talk about who he did a song with, I'll leave it alone. If nobody want to talk about who he just did a song with, wasn't it him that said that other person? Who just did he just do a song with Lil Wayne? Am I thinking about the wrong guy? I might be thinking about the wrong guy. What do I know? I get these things mixed up sometimes because all of these dudes is interchangeable. Let me stop. I'm just joking around. Who was the other guy who plane got stopped in Florida? Who was the other guy whose plane got stopped in Florida? Lil Wayne. Oh wow, Shy Murder said his new album has hella features. I think Nicki is the biggest. Oh wow. I didn't know much about his Polo G's new album, so shout out to that shit. But Lil Wayne was also had a plane that flew in. That's why nobody answered, because the nigga got a shitload of features.
That's why nobody knew who the hell I was talking about. My apologies. Anyway, Lil Wayne had the plane that flew into Florida that was also stopped, where the gun got found on and he got pardoned by the president. So the point in which I'm trying to make is, how in the hell, that's why I keep trying to say, people can say whatever they want, man, but people be lining their own selves up for some weirdo shit. I don't want no private planes. I get on the regular commercial plane with everybody else. I'm fine. I'm laughing at shit. I'm so serious. Nah, I'm fine. I get on a regular commercial plane with every fucking body else. I'm fine. Now, why do you think the police was on Polo G? He said they was on him. What Polo G said was, we talking about Polo G right now, everybody. What Polo G said was this. The police officer told him that they was on him before the plane came in. Like, once his plane came in, they were already on him. So that meant that before his plane came in, they were already surveilling the fucking airport, waiting for his plane to come in. Why? What factor we checking, E. Simmons? What factor we checking? Because for real, what factor we checking? Shit said fact check. I'm like, which one? See, this is the thing that I was trying to explain. The police are watching the rappers because they can't watch the people who the rappers are associating with as easily. So since they can't watch the people who the rappers are associating with as easily, they watch the rappers instead. When you have a rapper who starts moving similar to how a different rapper was moving when they feel like that other rapper was doing something that was illegal, they're going to start watching that rapper and that rapper's associates. What I'm saying is that a case that this has just happened with Polo G? NetStars Live says, you think that they did a search and found nothing but continue with the arrest fishing? I think that if they were going to search them, they would have did it at the airport. Just so we could be clear. If they were searching them because they thought they were bringing something in, they would have searched them at the airport, correct? Like if they thought that they was bringing something in on the plane, they wouldn't let them land on the plane, go to a whole party. They checked the plane as soon as they came down, right? So that's what I would assume as far as that is concerned. I still don't know why they went to the party. All rappers are under investigations. This is a fact. Especially rappers who have close connections to the streets. Now, this is the point in which I'm trying to make. Oh, you're saying I was right. Copy. Appreciate you. If I was wrong, I just want to know where I was wrong at. So, that's what I was trying to say. Why did they pull up to his party? If they thought he was bringing something in, they would have stopped the plane at the airport. Why did they pull up to the party? So once again, I don't understand why they pulled up to the party. I need somebody to explain that to me. It still makes zero sense why they will pull up to his party. It don't make any sense for them to go to his party. None. None. So why were they there? Police can't, just so we're clear, the police can't just come to your crib and then get upset at you and then be like you resisted arrest and arrest you. So why were they there? Do you understand what, like, the police needed a reason to be at this place. Why were they there? Does anybody find out why they was there yet? Or we still only know why he was arrested? Because why the police were there is more important than why he was arrested. Them being there precipitated the arrest. Them being there happened before the arrest happened. They were there first and then the arrest happened. So we need to know why they were there first. They have to have been there for a good reason. They can't just be at a place. What the fuck? And I'm not saying that they don't have a good reason to be there. What I'm saying is, what is that reason? They probably had a great reason to be there. We don't know what that reason is yet. Ramel Price says they wasn't ready to arrest him at the airport. Not enough manpower. You think they showed up to the airport with like 2 detectives? Like what? I'm just laughing at this point. Hey, comment, man. Shout out to you. What the fuck you think they showed up at the airport with? Fucking the bad boys? What the fuck who was at the airport? Axel Foley? You're like, what do you mean? You trying to tell me they could have more in manpower at the airport than that could come in on a private jet? I don't even know if he was on a private jet. Did he take a private jet? It don't even make sense, man. Get out of here. Shout out to the airport. You see the binoculars. There they go. Be 2 guys. No, man, that's not what happened. Get out of here. What up, Juice Now? Juice Now said, I saw a lawyer on YouTube talk about it. They had no reason to take him out of the car in the first place. It was window tint, they claimed, and why were there so many cops? Juice Now also says, you can't tell someone to step out of the car for a window tint. You can't get arrested for that. It's a ticket at most. The GT Master says, what it bees like? What it bees like, my brother? Fucking oh God, man. Yeah, they were, first of all, they were on him since the plane came in. If they were on him since his plane came in, if that, first of all, we don't know if that's the truth. This is just what he's saying happened. He's saying, yo, they told me they was on me since the plane came in. So we're going off of that. So we're saying if that is accurate, if he's telling the truth, they were really, if they were really on Polo G once the plane came in. That's really what happened. Why? Then, on top of that, that means that they didn't just accidentally upon him when he got arrested. So that means they moved in on him. Why did they move in on him? You said something about a tinted window? The fuck? Why they ask him to get out of the car for a tinted window? That's a fact. The Juice Now says he was targeted as soon as the plane touched down. They used the window tint as a BS excuse to pull them over. Yes, that's my point. What the fuck? So y'all was just following them. So y'all was just following them to one of them Mr. Blinker. That's what y'all was doing. This is what we doing nowadays. We're manufacturing police report. You know, just so we can be clear, if any of us was followed for 24 hours, the police can just, if they just walking around following us, they can always find a reason to stop us and
and question us or whatever the case is, or create a situation with us. Every single last one of us do something at some point that if we have police officers just following us around, especially if we're driving in vehicles, they can just stop us at some point and just say something to something. Just so we can be clear. Just so we can be clear. So the fact that they were following him since his plane came in means that they had 100% intent on arresting him at some point. So if they had 100% intent on arresting him, waiting for him to commit some kind of act so they can go in and arrest him, and the act that he committed was tinted windows, just saying. That seems like manufacturing arrest to me. I could see if they was watching him because, you know, he's a violent criminal and he went and he did something that was considered to be violence, then great job, police. You recognized the violent criminal. He went to go commit violence. You stopped him before he got an opportunity. That means that all of that manpower that y'all put into all of that money that was spent on that manpower, all that time the police spent getting this operation together was worth it. You guys helped prevent loss of life. You guys helped prevent damage to property. You guys did incredible. But now when you tell me they did all of this stuff and then they arrested him for a tinted window, so you mean to tell me that there's a good chance that he wasn't even, there was no crimes planned? You just decided you was just gonna follow this guy. This is what we was doing. Shout out to you guys. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. But at the same time, on the flip side of that, when you fly into town and you got the police following you around, I guess you don't have to worry about any gang members trying to kill you. Right? I mean, I guess you don't have to worry about, you know, any you know, the police is already following you and they already on your ass. You don't got to worry about gang members or people from a random running up on you and shooting you and killing you, right? So that's one way to look at it. So I don't know. It's however you want to look at it. It's however you want to take it. Just so we can be clear. You got the police following you around. Emmanuel says, so what was the reason he went to jail? I think they his charges are actually I believe battery of a police officer, or basically attacking a police officer and resisting arrest. And it was like one or two others, but it's like most of those are gonna get thrown out of court. He's fine. Net Stars Live says maybe they did search the plane with dogs like standard procedure, but had no probable cause to arrest him. Then they did the whole window tint stop and started harassing him and hit him with charges. Well, Polo G himself didn't say anything about them searching the plane when the plane came down, so I'm not going to just assume they searched the plane. I mean, maybe they did, what do I know? But no one involved has said anything specifically about any plane being searched. But what do I know? Maybe they searched the plane. But I don't have any reason to believe that, though. What can I tell you? Maybe they searched the plane, though. What do I know? But I don't have no reason to believe that. Let's get 5 to 10 $10 drops to the Cash App, y'all. Come on, let's go. I don't have no reason to believe that, though. Just to be honest with you. But, maybe they did. What do I know? Anyway. You seen what, GT Massive? And unfortunately, you lived what, if you don't mind me asking? I'd like for you to elaborate on them comments right there.
I don't think that comment was said to the maximum effect. Juice Now says he went to jail for resisting arrest, but it should have never happened because they pull him over for a window tinted. Why would they then get in the car for tinted windows? First of all, this is what I mean by manufacturing an arrest. If they pulled him over for tinted windows, why would he then be arrested? How can you arrest somebody if you're pulling him over to give him a ticket? How can you be resisting arrest if the person's trying to give you a ticket? He didn't pull him over to arrest him. It's the tinted windows. He pulled him over to get him a ticket, right? So how could he be resisting arrest? Are we just going to say that every time a police officer gets upset at you and say, I'm going to arrest you, even if they're arresting you illegally, you can still be resisting arrest if you don't allow them to illegally arrest you? I think that that's a real question that we really need to have, especially with our politicians. Is it okay? What can we do to stop a police officer, some police officers, that when they're in the wrong, they put you under the arrest, so then they can say that you're resisting arrest, even when they have no probable cause to arrest you? I think that that is something really interesting that maybe we need to discuss with politicians, because I think that that's an issue. Juice Now says, police, your windows are tinted. Driver, oh, I didn't know. Police, here's your ticket. That's how it should have been. Yep, boom. There was never no reason for him to get out the car either. I think somebody said they asked him to get out the car, whatever the case is. There was no, first of all, well, whatever the case is, however, Dog Soldier said, Frost, dudes ride around Miami with illegal tints. Some even tint windshields. Yeah, but the point is, are they arresting people for illegal tints? Or are they giving you a ticket? That's what I'm asking. Emmanuel says, what if the police knew other gangs had to drop on Polo G and arrested them instead? If they did, shout out to the police. I'm 100% sure that they do that, by the way. Just so we can be clear, I am 100% certain that the police sometimes arrest rappers because they know that other people might have to drop on them and might kill them. I 100% believe that. 100%. And then they get talked like shit about because they was fucking with this rapper for no reason. And in reality, they just saved the man's life. 100% I believe that happens. These rappers are worth a lot of money to some people. Okay? The police, everybody likes money. Little bonus here, little bonus there. You can get some extra security for a mofo. And I'm not even mad at nobody that's doing this. If you taking a little bit of money here and a little bit of money there to help keep somebody alive, shout out to you. I'm happy that you got that job. Like, you a corrupt police officer. You taking money to keep rappers alive. That is not being corrupt, my brother. Thank you very much for doing that particular job. All of you officers out there doing that shit. Taking money to help keep other rappers alive. Shout out to you. I ain't even mad at you. If y'all not doing that, y'all need to start talking to some of these fucking agencies. That's probably why they was on him since the plane came in, actually. Shout out to Emmanuel. That could have been why they was on him since the plane came in. Maybe that's why they stopped his car, because his car was about to get shot up. Who knows? We don't know. SUBCRIBE says these rappers should know it's hot. It's always hot for these rappers. So there isn't, what are you talking about? They should know it's hot. It's always hot. It's always hot. I don't think that's the point. I don't think they lack not knowing whether it's hot or not. It's always hot. I think for the most part they're usually just trying to act accordingly. It's always hot. Manu says, cause police is watching gang members too, and yeah, they would. The feds be watching. Polo G has the #1 album. All eyes was on him. It would have been Pop Smoke situation again. I'm gonna say this much. Police already do a lot of security work. I'm trying to not, because I don't know how much what people know, and I'm also not trying to go at any rapper that uses off-duty police officers as security. Get whatever security you can to make sure that you make it home. All right. So just so we can be clear. Also, I'm not one of these dudes out here that's trying to figure out how to take money out of police officers' pockets. Whatever it is, you're a police officer, so you know how to secure shit. We assuming you know the proper protocol to get shit done. Do the security work for the rappers. What the fuck do I care? So I say all that to say this. Soon, look for a lot of the rappers that come out that really blow. They're gonna have to start having regular security, like police armed security, off-duty police officers or ex-police officers. Now check why I'm saying this, just so we can be clear. I want to be just so we can be clear. It's gonna be too risky for these rappers to be around gang members as often as they around gang members now. It's about to get too risky. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a good example. Forget the whole Treyway situation. Forget that. Look what's happening with Casanova right now. What do you think is gonna happen in the Troy Ave Taxstone case when it's spoken about in court that Taxstone was in the building because Casanova invited him? Taxstone was there because Casanova invited him. Do you understand? There's gonna come a point where they want these rappers to have the street cred. The street cred is important. Don't get it confused. But we need to keep these rappers as far away from this gang shit as possible. And when we're not around them, and this is the labels thinking this, when we're not around them, these dudes is doing weirdo shit. We need for them to minimize their contact with the street some. So look for a lot of people who do surveillance and have police training to start being on the uptick for some of these artists. Because what are you gonna do when you have an NBA young boy who, because of some bullshit involving some photos with him touching some guns, that might be his career now? You know how many years they might take away from him? If we want to look at something that's already happened, look at the Bobby Shmurda situation.
Like I said, we don't even have to look at the Treyway Tekashi situation. It's a shame that that's always the first situation that people usually want to bring up, but we don't even have to look at that no more. We have enough other examples. That's why I look at some of these rappers that it's obvious that they got street ties. We know they got street ties. But you know what? We keep that over there. We keep that shit over there. All the bullshit we keep over there. The real shit we keep over here. Let's go. And that's the energy we gotta have sometimes. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. It's just what I thought about the Polo G situation. Why in the hell was they on him in the first place? They shouldn't even have been on him, and they was on him since his car landed, his plane landed. Why? Nobody else thought that was odd. Like nobody else thought that was odd. I just thought that was odd. I guess most people didn't really think that was odd. Like, also, why they arrested him? You understand what I'm saying? That's just, I guess that's the lawyer in me or whatever the case is. Like, also, why was they in a position to arrest him? Why was they looking at his tinted windows? Also, was it at night when they stopped the car? So you're trying to tell me what time it was? Like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning? It was something like that. So it was in the middle of the night. You could tell that his windows was too tinted. How far was you from his vehicle when you could tell that his window was too, like, okay, so you already knew that his window had tinting problems, but you waited till 2 o'clock in the morning to arrest him? Pooh Shiesty, that's another situation. But shout out to Pooh Shiesty. Free Pooh Shiesty. He gonna be alright. I don't know how he's gonna beat his particular charges, but let's just hope he does. I don't know what to tell you. Pooh Shiesty charges is kinda his charges seem to be much more difficult to get from under than a lot of these other guys. This being as he fired a gun inside of a crowded club with witnesses watching him. So I don't know what to tell you about that. That shit's crazy. He was in a crowded club. They knocked the money out of his hand. The money's all over the floor. He pulls out the weapon. He fires. I don't know what to tell you. You gotta be a little smarter than that, man. Nah, you gotta be a little smarter than that. He was just going off. He was just, I don't know. Say he's a shooter. He the richest shooter, right? So he resorted back to what he knew. Emmanuel says, Jack, YNW Melly might get the death penalty or be let go. His case is going to be crazy. Apparently, I know people in Florida, so I got contacts in Florida, so I know quite a few about some. I know quite a few things about a lot of these Florida situations. YNW Melly's case is particularly bad for Melly. The evidence they have against him is a lot. The evidence they have against YNW Melly is a lot. From triangulated positioning of his cell phone to texts he made right after the murders allegedly happened, the shooting allegedly happened, to the trajectory of the shots from where he was sitting in the car allegedly to where he made a phone call right after it happened, where he was when he made the phone call, what was said on the phone call,
all the way to the individual who actually dropped the bodies off at the hospital having been driving around for like at least an hour or two, something along those lines, with the dead bodies in the vehicle with him. YNW Melly has a lot to get out from under. Then in addition to that, he's also said to have allegedly been involved in a shooting of a police officer that happened previously before that happened. So YNW Melly has a lot of situation that he has going on for himself down there in Florida currently. I think he has too many cases for himself to beat. It's like these guys get into a situation where in order to get the thing that they, I don't know what to tell you, I'm just going to be quiet, but you can't just be ready to go do anything. You got to have some standards, man. You can't just be ready to just go do anything. Because this is, I don't know what to tell you. That's actually a good idea. I'm going to change the title of this a little. Sorry about this, y'all. Give me 1 second. I'm typing something. What am I typing? Did I spell that right? I hate the fact that I hit like 8 keys all at one time with one finger. Why in the hell? That wasn't a bad idea. That was a good idea. We're gonna change that then. Alright. My fault, y'all. I had to, somebody text me something and I had to send a message to a thing. Manual says, how did the individual drive around taking the bodies to the hospital, get bail and released, and he gets locked up again for going to clubs? Obviously, the person that was driving around with the dead bodies in the vehicle, I'm going to tell you what I believe happened. I believe that they're going to be a witness against YNW Melly. This is just what I think. I think that they're going to be a witness against YNW Melly, and I think what he's basically going to say is that he was in the driver's seat. YNW Melly shot the other two people. What is he supposed to do then? Because obviously, if you drop the bodies off at the damn hospital, there's no way that they could say that you didn't have anything to do with these dead bodies. Why would they then let him go? For him just to get in trouble for going to clubs and shit like that. That's a fact. So I think that there's a good chance that he's talking with the police. I'm not saying that definitively that that's definitely what's happening. But I think that there's just as good as a chance that he's talking with the police as I think there's a better chance that he's talking to the police than that the police don't think that the police just organically think he had nothing to do with anything. You understand what I'm saying? See, that's the thing about him being the driver in this particular situation. He's in the driver's seat. The guy with the gun, they've already said, was in the back seat somewhere. I forget which side they said he was sitting on. But basically, the person that was in the back seat shot the person that was next to them and shot the person that was that was riding shotgun. So yeah, you know, no, I don't know what was happening. Motherfucker just started shooting people. I was in the front. What am I gonna do? He told me to drive. I started driving. I was scared as shit. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like that. Apologies. Some just is shiny things. I don't know what to tell you. Sometimes I get distracted. Yeah, so YNW Melly, he has so much going against him. I don't know what to tell you. He has a lot going against him right now. Also, I think that the individual that actually dropped the bodies off at the hospital, I wouldn't be surprised if that individual decided to actually be a witness against him at the trial. And his mother also didn't help by letting everybody know that basically he had a good reason to kill the dude that died. Like, why would you do that, Mom? Why would you tell the police and the rest of the world that the dude that actually died, I had a good reason to kill him? Why would you do that? Like, so she kind of fucked him up. So shout out to that. At this point, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think his mother. I don't know if his mother's just ratchet or if she just don't like him for real. The nigga locked up in jail. She bringing like strippers to the building. I guess that's clout for him though, right? That's clout though, right? Because you know the other dudes that's locked up, they want to see the strippers too, right? Emmanuel says, because the family supposedly believe YNW Melly did it, so it's a hard case against him, ain't it? Well, usually the family thinks that the person who got picked up for whatever the murder is the person who did it. So, I mean, so I don't think that it's a big deal that the individuals, families, the individuals that died family think that YNW Melly did it. I don't think that's a big deal. I just think it's a hard case for him to be able to win because the evidence that we currently know about is not, I'm not saying it's insurmountable, but the first thing that his lawyers is going to do is need to get some of this evidence removed or inadmissible to trial. If some of this stuff can't get, if all of this is going to be admissible in trial, YNW Melly, I don't see how he's going to get out from under it, but what do I know? You know what I'm saying? What do I know? But I don't see how he's going to get out from under it. Because what they're going to do is they're going to bring all of the, they're going to bring diagrams. They're going to show how the people were sitting in the car. They're going to show the entrance and the exit wounds. Then they're going to tell you the story that they said allegedly happened. Because allegedly what happened, some people drove past them and start shooting the vehicle up. And that's what they saying happened. It was a drive-by. So they're going to show how it wasn't a drive-by. You know what I'm saying? So there's going to be a lot that's going to be going on there. Then they're going to show how the people, the entry and exit wounds that the individuals had that were murdered. So then they could prove where the person that shot them was sitting. Then after they prove where the person that shot, because remember, they know where everybody was already sitting, because when they went to the hospital, you could obviously see when the vehicle pull up in the hospital where the bodies were. You understand what I'm saying? So they know where, you know, whoever did the shooting was sitting. And then you take that with the entry and the exit wounds, they're going to be able to tell the trajectory of the bullet. And then by telling the trajectory of the bullet, you could even tell how tall or short the person sat in the vehicle when they went and shot the person 9 times out of 10. So with all of that information, and then also with the information about the cell phones triangulating his position, saying exactly where he was at and when he was, and with what his cell phone, with the telephone calls that he had put out and the text messages that he put out surrounding around the time that all of this happened, without a shadow of a doubt, like, this evidence is not looking good for him. They're going to have to get some of this evidence. Some of this evidence has to be inadmissible in order for him to have an opportunity to fight this case. And that's just my opinion. I could be 100% wrong. What do I know? But you have to figure out a way to prevent some of this evidence from seeing the light of day in court. If they can't do that, then YNW Melly is a wrap, in my opinion. I don't know what to tell you. And if you add that to the fact that it seems like that the dude that was driving the car might actually be talking to the police. We are saying that he got picked up because he was at a club, but you know why they probably didn't want him at the club? They probably didn't want him at the club as in fear of somebody knowing that he's helping them might try to kill him. That's probably why they didn't want him at the club. He went to the club, oh Lord, this guy's about to go get himself go get himself killed. Yeah, we can't leave you out there. You're an idiot. Yep, and the manager gave the police Melly's phone. That's a fact. For everybody that don't know, the manager is the same dude that was with King Vaughn that night. That's King Vaughn's manager, for everybody that don't know. So yes, the manager also gave the police Melly's phone. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. I'm sorry. I was just looking at something that was just so. I was also looking at K Goddess's page, but sans that, I was also looking at something else that was just absolutely so funny. I'm just not laughing because it took me a second to get the joke. It's fucked up joke. I can't tell ya. It's a funny joke though. It's a fucked up joke. It took me a second to get it though. Anyway, Emmanuel says the manager has a story saying that he has his phone on him and it rang while he was at the police station and they left and came back with a warrant for the phone. First of all, just so we could be clear, how could they even know that that was his phone, YNW Melly's phone, unless the manager literally told them this is YNW Melly's phone? The phone simply ringing by itself wouldn't. It's not like a phone rings and be like, hey, I'm Jack Frost's phone ringing over here, and then the police was like, oh shit, he got Jack Frost's phone. How did you know? It said it. Like, so you don't know who fucking the phone is. You understand what I'm saying? So how would the police have known that was YNW Melly's phone? You understand what I'm saying? So the fact that the police even knew that that was YNW, I don't trust that manager guy. Shout out to him though. Let me be quiet. I don't know the guy to not trust him. I'm just saying that this just sounds like I need to hear more. What's going on over here? That's all I'm saying. What's going on over here? This doesn't make sense to me. So the phone rang in the police station. How does that alert the police to whose phone it is? You saying because you have more than one phone? Nigga, I got 2 phones. How many of you got 2 phones? Some of y'all hardly got 3 and 4 phones. That don't mean anything. Tell me where I'm wrong. Also, why would you bring YNW Melly's phone to the police station? So you went to the police station with YNW Melly's phone. Why? So I don't understand any of this, nor do I know any of this, but they might be good answers. What the fuck do I know? I don't think it makes sense. Does anybody else think that makes sense, or is that just me? That made sense for him to bring YNW Melly's phone to the police station? That don't even make sense to me. I don't know. Shout out to that though. And how did the police know? I don't know. None of that shit makes sense to me. Shout out to NetStars Live with the $10 drop. NetStars Live says, is the saloon open? The saloon is open. He said he needs a sarsaparilla. NetStars Live pulls up into the saloon. He comes in the door. NetStars Live comes in the door. He daps up the bartender. He says, hey, I haven't been here for a while. He starts looking around. Everything looks sparkly and clean. It looks like they did a whole new renovation. He's like, oh yeah. He walks up to the bartender. The bartender daps him up. He says, how's you doing, Mr. NetStars? He says, I'm chilling. He says, there's this thing. He leans into the bartender. He says, there's this thing I've been working on. The bartender says, what is it? He says, it's called a computer. Oh, hold on. Just so we can be clear, the term computer is actually pretty old and it comes from a whole nother race, so I'm going to change it. It's called the internet. The bartender looks at him and says, what are you talking about? He says, do you know how we use those wires so we could do the Morse code and send messages? He says, yeah. Well, I think that if we do enough of those wires, we can send actual visual images. The bartender looks at him and says, I think you've had enough to drink tonight, sir. Shout out to NetStars Live. Pulling up to the saloon. The bartender says, I think you had enough to drink.
Stars Live is over there trying to convince him about the internet, trying to tell him about all the different internet things that he can probably get involved in. And the bartender is basically like, I'm cutting you off. Emmanuel says he had a second interview with academics because people were saying he snitched on YNW by giving police his phone. When he explained himself, honestly, it didn't sound good. I don't understand. Yes, the saloon is open, by the way. I don't understand how, just so we could be clear, I don't understand how he brings YNW Melly's phone to the police station. Did the police tell him to bring the phone in? Unless the police told him he had to bring, unless the police already knew he had the phone, and the police told him to bring the phone in, then he brung the phone in, then I don't have a problem with what happened, because he's a civilian. So if he has something and he was dumb enough to let the police know he had it, let's just be honest with you, because now he's saying he didn't want to give it to the police. So if he honestly didn't want to give it to the police, then letting him know that he had it was something that he did not want to do. So since he did do it, it was dumb of him. Correct? I'm not trying to play with words or nothing like that. I'm just trying to explain what I'm saying. I'm not disrespecting him as much as I hear what he's saying that his intent was, and he did something that is contrary to his intent, then it was a dumb move. That's it. Anyway. Dog Soldier said, why would he help the investigation? That's my point. That's the point at which I'm trying to make, just so we could be clear. Entirely. Was he dumb enough to already let them know that he had the phone and then they told him to bring the phone in? Because if that's the case, him saying that the phone rung while he was in the fucking precinct don't make no sense. Nigga, you knew you was going to the precinct to give them the phone. What are you talking about? Damn, I've been cut off already. You can tell him. I mean, the bartender, you could always talk to him. I don't know what to tell you. You can have a conversation with him. I'm just telling you what happened. You start talking about that internet stuff, he thinks you had too much to drink. Emmanuel says his excuse was, oh, I'm the manager, so I had it on me because I manage him and his calls pretty much. Listen. If he let the police know he had the phone, after the police found out he had the phone, they told him that he had to turn the phone over, and he turned the phone over. He's a civilian. I can't blame him. What I'm saying is, if that is the case, him saying the phone rang when he was in the precinct, he don't need to say that, because you went to the precinct to give them the phone in the first place, correct? So I need to know what story we going with first before I could really have a conversation about this guy. Because he seems to have multiple different stories about the same damn thing. I'll say this one... I'll say this one more time. Listen, just listen. How did the police know he had the phone? If you're telling me that he told the police, whenever, however, that he had the phone and the police told him to bring the phone into the police station, that's literally the only reason why he should have brought the phone to the fucking police station. Period. He shouldn't have just had the phone on him and walked into the police station at no period. This isn't me trying to figure out how not to help the cops solve a crime. This is me saying your client is YNW Melly. It is in your best interest that your client is a free man. You are not supposed to help the police put YNW Melly away. He's your client. So therefore, if you have any evidence whatsoever, you would not bring the evidence to where the police hold evidence at, i.e., the police station. So the only reason why he should have brought the phone to the police station was because he was asked to by the police to turn it over. And if that's the case, there's no reason for him to say the only reason why he gave it to the police is because it rang in the station, because he brought it to the station to give to the police. So I don't understand how everybody is glossing over a lot of this shit. So I just assume that that's what we're supposed to be doing, so I don't be caring about it. Because that don't make sense. None of that makes sense. Emmanuel says, okay, so he was at the station, it rang. He was like, my fault, the artist's phone ringing. They came back forcing him to hand the phone over. He gave it because he said he has nothing to hide himself. Once again, he shouldn't even have had his phone in the precinct. It shouldn't have been there in order for it to ring. That's my actual point. Why did he even bring the phone to the precinct? There's only one reason why the phone should have been brought to the precinct. And that's because he told the police he had it and they said turn it over and he decided to. Other than that, the phone should have never made it to the precinct. Tell me where I'm wrong. And I'm talking from the perspective of somebody who's YNW Melly's manager. I'm talking from that perspective, just so we can be clear. I'm not talking about from my perspective. From my perspective, I wouldn't have never had the damn phone once I found out the dude was out there. Wait, hold on, he's a murder suspect? I don't even have the phone no more. I don't know what you're talking about. That phone don't exist. I'm just keeping it a stack with you. I don't know what else is on that phone. I'm not getting caught up in nothing. Matter of fact, once I hear you might be the type of individual that just might get a body, I don't want to hold none of your shit anyway. I'm just gonna be honest with you. If you somebody that you might catch a body. I don't wanna hold your phone. Don't leave your shit at my crib either and take everything out the car. We're not doing this. If you get backed up, if you get caught up, there's no way in the world they're gonna be able to come to me and get anything about you. I'm that friend. I'm not gonna have anything to give to them. I'm not gonna know anything that could quite possibly get you. I'm that friend. Once you start, hold on. Do I need to know this shit? Because the police show up. I don't want the police showing up asking me nothing. Do I need to know this? I'm that friend. You know what? Good. I don't need to know this. We get along good doing what we doing right now. All the legal things. we get along great, champ. Emmanuel says, exactly. I'm like, why the hell you have his hot phone on you? Like, what an idiot. He basically explained why he went to that police precinct to give those police officer that cell phone, in my belief. I don't know why he did it. I'm not saying he's wrong or he's right. Who the fuck do I know? Well, like I said, this isn't a thing. I'm not saying he's wrong or he's right for doing it, but in my honest opinion, I think he went to the police station to give them the cell phone. I think that was his intent the whole entire time. I don't think that there was any other thing he was trying to do. I think he was there to give the police the cell phone. However he want to feel or whatever he want to say after that or regards to anything else, shout out to you, homeboy. I don't know what to tell you, salute. But I believe he went to the police to give the police the cell phone. I believe that he didn't want to get caught up.
in order to make it, you have to have a certain level of corporateness. That was their corporate guy. He was the black guy that hangs out with them. He was their corporate guy. He's not going to jail for YNW, Melly. That's not happening. He was there to give them. He was there to give those police that phone. He's the corporate guy. He was the guy that talks to all those people that they probably don't talk to. I'm going to tell you the wild thing. Oh shit, the fucking ice cream truck came on right when I shout out to them dudes. I'm going to tell you the wild thing. Do you notice it's the rappers that actually are the super skilled, talented ones that keep dying? But the dudes that don't write their own raps, the dudes that just do the same song over and over and over and over again, it's crazy. Nobody else think that that's crazy? Like the uber talented motherfuckers that start totally new shit that wasn't nobody else doing. Those be the dudes that get up out of there. Those be the dudes that end up going to jail or end up dying. That's just something to think about. That's crazy. These dudes is getting burnt out and they burning out too quick. They getting burnt out. They burning out too quick. YNW Melly, talented. Talented young brother. NBA young boy, talented. Kodak Black, talented. Kodak Black back out, but talented. Polo G just got arrested. He's free now. Talented. And another point, what people got to realize is a lot of individuals, especially when you're gifted and you're skilled artist, you probably have some kind of trauma that comes with you, like for real, for real. I think that's the part that people don't get. Like if you skilled, if you most good creatives, especially the exceptional ones, they've experienced some kind of weird trauma somewhere in their life. Imagine what kind of trauma Stephen King experienced. I'm going to put y'all on the game real quick. Something that everybody doesn't know. Some people don't know. A lot of people don't know. You know almost every single Stephen King book exists in the same universe? Excuse me. You know almost every single Stephen King book exists in the same universe. Every book. Every single Stephen King book exists in the same universe. Just thought I'd say that. A lot of creatives are tormented souls. That's one of the reasons in which why they create the content in which they create that is just so different, and it's so like when somebody just thinks differently. You understand what I'm saying? There's a reason why they think differently. It's because of their trials and because of their tribulations that they went through in their life. That's why they think. I hate when that happens. That's why they think differently. You understand what I'm saying? Sorry about that. I was looking at something. Sorry about that. I was looking at something. Manuel said YNW Melly's brothers very talented. He said honestly, Jack, YNW Melly's little brother, YNW B Slime, has really good music. I wouldn't doubt. A lot of this stuff just sounds the same to me. I think I really fuck with what YNW Melly did with the concept of murder on my mind and my mind on murder, or whatever the case is. I think it's the concept. It was a real high, a relatively high level concept. I'm not gonna say real high level. I think it's real high level with what people are doing, but with what I consider to be some of my own content that I think of myself, I think it's relatively. I think it's a decent level. I don't think it's really high level, but as far as what the concepts that people are using in hip hop, is real high level. So there's no telling what other type of content that man could have came up in with or thought of at some point and created. So in reality, because these murders happened where these people lost their lives, that it was probably all precipitated for some bullshit. It all originated, came from some bullshit that came before it. We're probably about to lose out on an artist that would have made some really great music. And that's always a shame. And that might be Pooh Shiesty's situation. But just so we can be clear, YNW Melly is a vastly superior artist over Pooh Shiesty, in my opinion. I put YNW Melly in the same category as, I think that he was trending towards XXX Tentacion type of uniqueness and ability. XXX Tentacion is kind of unique. So I was figuring he was trending like towards in that area of a XXX Tentacion and Juice World, trending like that as far as with content wise and skill wise. I think he was trending in that direction. I could be wrong though. Big Meech wins sentence reduction, coming home early. So Pooh Shiesty, they're gonna hold Pooh Shiesty. So the judge that is holding him is the judge from the first. Hold on, let me see something. Is the judge from the first court case. Right? That's the person who's holding him, right? So when is court date? Okay, so they have a hearing June 29th. They're going to have another hearing on the 29th of June, 9 a.m. But do you understand what I'm asking? Because if Pooh Shiesty court date ain't to 2022, 2023,
He about to lose like 2 years. Right in the middle of his blow up. This because he blowing up right now. So right in the middle of his transition to superstardom, he about to miss like 2 years. Minimum. That's just to go to court. I didn't see it. Send it to me, Takashi Fan 69. Emmanuel says Pooh Shiesty was warned by Wallow to not get tricked out of his position. Now he in a bad space. You seen that Joe Budden post. He said back in blood shows you where you are. Okay, I get what you're saying. But yeah, I said that previously. Shout out to Joe Budden. He watch us. Shout out to Joe Budden. He watch us. And I'm gonna take the criticism that you gave the program. I'm gonna take that shit super serious, and I'm gonna work on that. Shout out to Joe Budden. Appreciate you. Salute. I'm gonna work on it. That's a fact. Yeah, Joe Budden watch us. Okay. Shout out to that. He said a thing that's coming up. But yeah, I said that the other day though. I said that on the show. I've been telling y'all that since this whole story broke. They're gonna use that line against him in court. I told y'all since the story broke. And I told you the next caveat to how else they're gonna also use it, by basically saying that he got a disdain or mistrust or distrust for security in the first place. And that's why he don't want security in the club. That's why he'd rather bring his own piece. And that's why he shot the security. Watch. 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 That's gonna be why he shot the security. Watch. Watch. He already has a disdain for security officers just in general. He has no respect for any type of authority or police or any kind of figure of authority. Watch. That's why he don't need no security. That's why he don't want no security, because he don't respect authority. This man. Watch. Wait, why you deleted what he said, Dog Soldier? That was a pretty good comment. He said, wait, did he curse? I said he ate shit on his dirt bike. We know what that reference is. He fell face first. I didn't see it, though. If anybody got the clip of Meek Mill falling face first on his dirt bike, I mean, I hope he's okay. I don't want nobody to be hurt, but I would like to see it. Also, let's get 5 to 10 $10 drops to the Cash App, y'all. Come on, let's go. His court going to go viral. Bring in the guy with the song about not having security in the club. Dude shot security in the club. Dude shot security in the club. After talking about how he did not want security in the club. Cause he can shoot who he need to shoot, basically. Cause he got his own fire. So he got his own problems. He did not handle that image very well. He didn't handle that image very well. Yeah, he didn't handle that image very well. My image is news broadcasting family man that likes to go on vacations.
That's my image. Also very God-fearing, God first. Takashi said, Frost, he good. He got right back up. He hit the paint off of Camry. He good. Good thing he's good, though. I'm happy he ain't hurt. We don't want to see individuals out here getting hurt. I don't know. I guess we get up out of here. Anything anybody want to ask me before we go? That line used to hit like he would shoot the ops at his show, but he shot it. Yo, do y'all know what? That's a great point, Emmanuel. He had the. How do you? He brung the gun in the club to shoot security? That dude lost $40,000 and shot security and lost his freedom. All in a matter of a moment, a couple of moments. All in a matter of a couple of moments. All in a matter of moments. Because even if he gets out from under this situation, you know how much time he gonna lose fighting it? Oh, there it go right there. I'm looking at it right now. Oh, that was Meek. You better go pay for that car. Hey, I know that street. I be on that street when I go to Philly. You better pay for that car, Meek. Oh, Meek. Oh, Meek. Bang. Oh, you better pay for that car, homie. Nah, that can't be Meek. That ain't Meek. Who told you that was Meek? That ain't Meek. Get out of here. That is not Meek. That's just some random... That didn't look like Meek. Get out of here. First of all, Meek is super skinny. Never got on any kind of jacket. Nestars Live says, Frost, he was feeling a real kind of way about security stopping him from pulling out and getting his money back. That could have been it. Not for nothing. Real talk. That could have been it. It could have, because initially the what was said was he went for his gun and the police, the security officer stopped him from pulling his gun out. So he could have got mad at him and then tried to shoot him in retaliation to that. That's a possibility. Takashi Fan 69 says, Frost, Polo G, as well as that man, needs to get his ish together. I'm not sure what Polo G did wrong for the police to come and speak with him. So until I know what Polo G did wrong, I'm not going to put this as he did anything wrong. Right now, it looks to me like the police went up to him. And if that's the case, then I don't see no reason why we should be looking at Polo G in any way. Funny. Maybe that was Meek. I don't know if that was or not, but I don't have no reason to believe it was Meek. Dude got right the hell back up, though, so salute. I spoke on that the other day, actually. What I said was I wouldn't be surprised if the security guard was the one that knocked his money out of his hand, or him feeling like, you know, that's basically what I said. So you'll never know. A lot of time when people
take drugs, especially I'm assuming he's also on lean. Because a lot of these guys are. But a lot of times that individuals take those type of drugs, they tend to have feelings of persecution. Takashi fan 69 says, Frost, they said Polo G beat a cop up. Well, why was the cop in Polo G's face? Sure, it was cap as fuck, but these rappers need to wake up. The feds come because they're coming. Why was the police officer in Polo G's face? I need to know why the police officers stopped him. If they stopped him for tint, why did they make him get out of the car? It was for tint. They gauge your tint. They see that your tint is too much. At that point, they then issue you a ticket. So I need to know why Polo G was asked to get out of his car. I need to know why Polo G was stopped. We're not doing all of this. We're not going to do this where you're going to look at the situation that happened after the fact. First, we want to know, was this a real stop? Was this a real reason why Polo G needed to be stopped? If I'm correct, he was stopped while he was driving a car. If I'm correct, I might be wrong, but this is the story in which I received. He was driving the car. They stopped him. They said something about his tints. At some point or another, they asked him to get out of the vehicle. I don't think that that's the appropriate procedure. I'm assuming what they're going to say is that they looked in the vehicle, saw something, so therefore asked him to get out of the vehicle because they thought that there was a crime in progress or something along those lines. But as soon as you also tell me what happened is that you've been watching him ever since he came into Miami and ever since he flew into town, that kind of lends to the idea that you was looking for there to be a problem with him. And if you was looking for there to be a problem with him, I don't know how much we could actually believe that it was necessary for him to step out of the car, is my point. So I don't know if he beat a cop up or not. But if you assault a cop at all, and this is what I think he's being accused of, I think he's being accused of assault. I don't know if he's being accused of beating up a cop, but I believe he is being accused of some kind of assault. They were roused to him all day, no reason to ask him to get out of the car. And that's all I'm saying. So I need to know why all of the initial things happened. Why did this happen initially, and then we go from there? Because what happens is a lot of times people want you to start in the middle. They don't want you to start at the beginning. Because if you start at the beginning, they're wrong. You get it? So they want you to skip over all of the stuff that they did wrong. And they want you to start where it's most advantageous for them in their position. So we're not skipping over all of the other things that precipitated the event that you want to focus on. We're going to talk about everything that led up to that. We're going to see why did this happen. That's the number one thing. Wait, why did that happen? Okay, so this happened to happen, that had to happen, that had to happen, that had to happen, and that had to happen. That finally got us to the thing you want to talk about. Now, we're going to talk about all of the things, and then when we get to the thing you want to talk about, then we'll discuss that also. So yeah, I need to know why the police wanted to stop him to begin with. In all fairness. When you can tell me why the police needed to stop him, then we could move on from there. But I don't want to talk about how he assaulted a police officer. I want to talk about why the police officer was there for him to assault in the first place. Because the police officer, as far as I know, should have been somewhere doing police officer work, right? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. With this being said, we're about to get up out of here. Is there anything... We was about to get up out of here 2 seconds ago, too. Is there anything anybody want to say before we go, though? I'm feeling really talkative tonight. So if anybody... Before we go, if there's another question that somebody want to ask. That's why we're still here. Because I said that a minute ago and then somebody said something and I responded back to it. Is there anything else that anybody want to say before we get up out of here? I'm going to give you a second. I know it takes a moment for that to go through on the screen. Emmanuel says, yeah, we don't know right now why they was on him, but I think it's because maybe they was trying to kill him. I am not saying that the police, that law enforcement is trying to kill anyone, just so we can be clear. I do not have that position. Do people sometimes get killed by individuals who are employed in the profession of law enforcement. Yes, that does happen, but I'm not saying that in this particular case that that's what's going on. Just so we can be clear. I don't think all police officers are bad guys, man. I do understand what a police officer's job is, and I understand that multiple times if they are to come into contact with me, what they would be trying to do is find a reason to put me in jail and lock me up. That's 9 times out of 10. They just come up to me and talking to me randomly. They trying to find out what I'm doing wrong. Oh, the ops was trying to kill him, and that's why the police picked him up. Okay, that's a possibility. Takashi's fan 69 says, "Do you think 69 will do any big features soon? With whom? Who's gonna work with him? I think that's the issue." Stars Live says, "Does anyone need video work on promo done or their product or brand content?" Yes, if y'all need any video or promo or any kind of video editing or anything like that done, y'all need to contact Stars Live. Almond Brown says, "Night night, BBN fan, boo, love you y'all very much." Love you too, baby girl. Hope everything's going well. With that being said, I'm assuming that's it. We're going to get up out of here. I'm going to call out the drops real quick. Shout out to Almond Brown with the $8 drop. Shout out to Stars Live with the $10 drop. Definitely appreciate you guys. You guys are all the best. We will be back to our regular schedule, just so everybody know. Tonight's show and Morning Coffee back to the regular schedule. We feeling recharged. We feeling vibrant. We're gonna go back to our regular time. 9. Emmanuel says, "Jack, somebody just got 12 years for a PPP scam." There's going to be thousands of people that are going to go to jail for this PPP scamming. Just so yeah, thousands, probably thousands in every state. Just so you can get a real clear understanding. Hundreds in every state, at least a minimum. In every state, there's going to be hundreds of people going to jail for PPP scamming. Every couple of years, the government has to find out a way to get more people back in debt. You do know this, right? Like, y'all do know this? Like, is this... I don't understand if... Y'all do know this, right? Every couple of years, the government needs to get more people in debt because of the way that our economy works. Y'all do know this, right? The time that they did before this was the housing thing that they was doing. Remember that? So this is nothing new. You give them about give them about 8 more years, about 8 to 12 more years, probably about 10 more years, and there's going to be another big thing that's going to happen that's going to cause for a shitload of people to go into debt. It's just the way that our economy is. It's the way our economy works. Just so everybody can know. Happened in the 70s, right? That's when they had all of it happened in the 70s in the Bronx, but that's neither here nor there. No, I digress. With that being said, yo, look, I love y'all. Everybody have a good night tonight. Emmanuel says they're gonna need a jail for scammers. Well, just so we can be clear, the way that our America or the world is trending right now, they are gonna need a lot of people locked up in jail that's computer savvy. Remember, a lot of these call centers that y'all call to when you got a problem with something and you need help, you call a call center. Some of these call centers that you're calling that don't sound like they're from India, these are prisons. Just so y'all know, these are prisons. Some of these places you're calling, it don't sound like it's from India, these are prisons. Takashi Fan 69 says, "Frost, why do you think law enforcement is cracking down on rappers?" I think there could be a lot going on. I don't think that they're cracking down on rappers more than they probably did previously. I just think that rappers are just doing much more risky behavior. I think that that's what it is. I think that because the way that our culture is changing, and our culture is changing, or not just our culture, but the way in which we do media has changed so much to the point where you need to show people that you're this bad, or you're this tough, or you broken these crimes, or you did these things that you wasn't supposed to do because you're a badass. And due to the fact that you need to do these things in order to be able to, because that's a career in itself, I think that that's what a lot of these rappers is getting caught up in. I don't think it's anybody cracking down on the rappers. I just think it's the rappers just really, really risky behavior. Just in my opinion, just so we can be clear. Net Stars Live says 9 a.m. to 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. BBN Airstream shows up and supports the channel. Be safe, everyone. Let's have a good week. Let's have a good week. That's a whole fact. That's it. Manuel says they say in London is locked down or something. Oh well, I don't know. I don't know about any of that. Maybe there is a lockdown. Maybe that is what's happening. The world is transcending at this point from one thing to another. A lot of things are changing. I think that we need to stay cognizant of how fluid everything is going in the world. And I think one of the main reasons is because we're actually moving so far towards a one world economy, for people that don't understand that concept. And I think I think Bitcoin is actually pushing us even quicker in that direction. You know what line? Well, what are you talking about, High Noon? What line are you talking about? What line are you talking about? But I think Bitcoin is actually creating a need for a one world currency. You know what line? What line are you talking about? So just be cognizant of that. See how everything is going down. But yeah, these rappers are putting themselves in compromising situations a lot of times. So I don't know if we can really say that they're getting picked on. I guess that's for you to decide. I can't say that that's a thing or not. That's for you to decide. Net Stars Live ain't bigger than you and me. I don't know why. Oh, you talking about Net Stars Live said. Yeah, that's from what are you talking about? I play that's like on almost every one of our videos. Are you talking about that's fucking Black Dynamite. Shout out to Black Dynamite. Anyway, we're gonna get up out of here. I appreciate y'all. If y'all got anybody still awake in your household, give them a hug. Tell them you love them. You don't never know what's gonna happen tomorrow. Give people their flowers while they still here. Also, in addition to that, when we wake up in the morning, one of the first things we want to do is drink water. So everybody, please get your water ready for the morning. With that being said, I love y'all. Everybody show up for morning coffee in the morning. We'll have a different conversation about a different thing. Like, comment, subscribe. Join the notification gang. Hashtag Bronx Bombers. Let's get it. I love y'all. Take care of each other. Hug the kids for me. I haven't forgotten about you. And that's all I got on this one. I'm out.